Today, sitting on a stool or table, just anything that feels stable and is quite solid. You want a band or strap. It doesn't actually matter whether it's stretchy or not, so you can use a belt or a lead rope or a tail bandage, anything really. Hold it like it's reins, so with your elbows pointing into the hips, have the band or strap running up through the hands in the way that you'd hold the reins. Check the tension. You want to be able to pull a bit of tension into the band with the hands staying in line with the elbows. So sit up on top of your seat bones, make sure you feel straight and even, and I'll just show you the move. So we've done this plane before, but we're doing it with the band this time. So up on top of the seat bones, we're going to put our arms on, putting tension in the band, inhale to prepare, then exhale to scoop and tilt the pelvis, and inhale to come back up. Exhale to scoop the abs, pull the abs in, tilt the pelvis, and inhale to come back up. Okay, so we're going to start off straight and even on the seat bone. So reset, get some tension into the band or strap, inhale into the ribs to prepare, exhale to scoop and tilt, inhale to come back up, exhale to scoop and tilt, inhale to come back up. So just keep moving with the breath here. And what you'll notice is we're obviously using the deep stabilising and controlling abs right down in the sort of deepest part of our core. But what you should notice is if you're maintaining that tension in the strap from your arms, we're also activating some muscles which you might just only feel flickering down either side of the core as well. So the more you do this, the more you'll feel the effect of using the arms. It also can make your arms quite tired as well, but that's why we're doing it, because of the way it activates down the side of the body, side of the deepest core. So one more. And inhale to come back up. Lovely. So give yourself a nice big shoulder roll or two just to get everything feeling loosened up after that tension into the arms. We're going to reset and go again. So inhale into the ribs to prepare, exhale, scoop the abs and tilt the pelvis, and inhale to come back up. So just moving with the breath once again, and really focusing on using the scoop of the abs to draw the pubic bone upwards and create the tilt in the pelvis. So think of it as lifting the pelvis up at the front rather than pushing it down at the back, and feel the work through the lower abs. Keep that tension in the arms, keep the elbows in towards the hips, and feel that activation down either side of the core. Might feel very weak, as I say, but it will be strengthening with every single move. So working with the breath. Lovely. Last one like this. And inhale to come back up. Lovely. And release any tension in the shoulders again with a bit of a shrug or a bit of a roll. So I'll face you now for this next one so that you can see. We're going to focus the activation into the deepest muscles, but working one side at a time. So this is how we ensure that we equalise and get more symmetrical, by isolating one side at a time. So set up in the same way. Get that little bit of tension into the band and come over onto one seat bone. So you'll have air under the lifted seat bone. That lighter foot will lift onto tiptoes. Get that tension in the strap. Inhale to prepare and exhale to scoop and lift and scoop and straighten. So keep going with the breath. This won't feel elegant. You will feel really wonky and twisted, but you should feel almost like you're grinding that seat bone into the stool there, but you should feel real concentration of that work into the abs on one side. Try and keep the shoulders level if you can. Last one. Lovely, and give that seat bone a bit of a rest. Probably gone a bit numb by now. Give your shoulders a bit of a roll through. And then we're going to set up on the other side. So lifting the heel, shoulders down, tension in the strap, and start the move. So again, just working with the breath, not worrying too much about the fact that your knees are probably going to feel like they're wobbling around. You're really focusing here. You're really focusing here on that feeling that you're getting deep into the abs on that side. So inhaling to come up, exhaling to use the abs to pull the pelvis up from the front, and just cycling through, keeping that tension in the strap. Doesn't need to be desperately strong. And return up to upright. Lovely, well done. Roll out through the shoulders, and you can get rid of the strap now. So now let's stretch the piriformis and our smaller glutes, but with a new variation now. So we're going to cross one ankle over the thigh and let that knee hang loose and heavy. Hand on the knee, and with your back straight, you're going to hinge forward from the hip like this. Keep the knee down, lift the tailbone, feel the stretch into the little muscles around the seat bone, the side of the glute. You can put a little gentle pressure down into that knee to keep the hip open if that feels good. And just take a couple of deep breaths here. Keep lifting through the tailbone, and give it a chance to release. And then when you're ready, you can shake it out if it feels like that's going to get you more forward fold or more openness in the thigh, and see if you can get a little bit more fold as a result. Just breathe here and give the muscle a chance to relax. And then release, and you can set up on the other side. So the knee drops open, lifting the tailbone, fold, hinge forward from the hip, keep that tailbone up. A little bit of pressure if you want to into that knee just to increase the stretch in the outside of the hip, but really focusing on lifting through the tailbone. Really noticing if there's any tension in the inside or front of the hip. Give a little shake if you need to, if you feel that would help. You really want no tension at all on the inside of the hip here. And when you're ready, you can release and bring the upper body back up to upright. Great, so let's go back to the other side to open up the front of the hip. Ankle crosses over, knee falls open and heavy. Opposite hand comes across, hold the seat for stability, and press around 10% effort into that knee and resist with the knee into the hand, just holding it completely still. And release, give a little shake, and we're going to go again. So the knee is pushing up into the hand, and the hand is resisting, so nothing's going anywhere, but we're looking at about 10% of a tussle from an effort point of view between the two. And release, have a little wobble, and go again. So trying to lift that knee up and over into the hand is resisting and keeping it in place, but keeping it light. And release. Have a little wobble through, and then we can set up on the other side. So opposite hand comes across, and the knee pushes up into the hand as the hand resists back. About 10% effort, make sure you're not pushing too hard. And then release, and have a little shake through, and go again. So we're just asking the front of the hip to let go here. And release, and have a little shake through. And set up to go again. And release, have a shake through the hip. Brilliant. So let's get into the deep core stabilizers. We're going to work with movement so that we're challenging and activating them. It's only for short periods, but working with movement is much closer to what we need on the horse than holding still and fatiguing. So come to all fours, and then take your hands slightly forward, knees halfway back. Have the weight forward, feet just wider than the hips, tuck the toes. We're going to straighten the knees to lift into a plank. So inhale to prepare, abs on, exhale to straighten the knees and lift. And keep the abs on, and inhale to release. Exhale to take the knees up into a plank, push the heels away, hold for about 5 seconds. and inhale to release. Exhale to switch on the abs, push the heels away and straighten the legs. Hold, hold, hold. Use the abs to hold you up here. And release and push back into a child's pose. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Let all of the muscles down the back of the body and through the hip just ease off a bit and appreciate the rest. And then when you're ready, you can begin to move forward into position. So get the weight forward over the hands. We're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale the abs on and lift. Push the heels away. Push, push, push. Hold on with the abs here and release. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to switch the abs on. Push the heels away and lift. Hold, hold, hold. And release. And once more, we're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale to switch on the abs. Push the heels away and straighten through the knees. And release and come back into child's pose again. Lovely. Take some nice deep breaths here. So keeping the planks dynamic makes it much more useful for us in terms of the kind of stability that we need on the horse, because we're always having to counteract forces coming at us in all different directions. So static planking might sound impressive, but actually it's not as much of a challenge and it's not the kind of challenge that we need. So let's set up again to do another set. Weight forward over the hands. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to push the heels away and lift. Hold with the abs. Hold, hold, hold. And release. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to scoop the abs. Push the heels away. Hold through the abs. Nice straight line. And release. Inhale to prepare. And exhale to straighten the knees. Push the heels away. And hold through the abs. And release and come back into child's pose. Lovely. So big deep breaths here. Feel the expansion through the ribs, feel the expansion through the spine. Just enjoy the feeling of the back going into that counter stretch before coming back up to all fours. So we're going to challenge the stabilisers by reaching one arm and the opposite leg away while keeping the torso stock still and stable. So inhale to prepare, exhale the abs on, and then we're going to take a diagonal pair and reach the arm and leg away, reach, 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 reach long. Inhale to bring them back. Other side, exhale, abs on to reach the arm and leg away, reach, 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 and inhale to bring it back. So just keep going, alternate pairs in rhythm with the breath. So exhaling the abs on and inhaling to return to the starting position and focusing all the time on whether the torso is completely, completely still. So now we're going to add on, we're going to add the tuck. So it's a reach, tuck, reach, release. So inhale to prepare, exhale to reach the arm and leg away, then tuck, elbow to the knee, and then reach again as you did before, and then return to the starting position. Lovely. Moving to the other side, reaching long, tucking in, reaching long again, and returning to the starting position. So keeping going with that rhythm. Reaching long, long, long as well as lifting, and all the way through, keeping that torso as still and as stable as you can. Really focusing on using all of the little muscles that are needed to keep things feeling still. Imagine a cup of tea on your back, you don't want to spill any, or whatever image works for you, but really focusing on that stability and that stillness, because that's how you will challenge all of the little muscles that need you to know you want them to be working for you. They're not going to step up otherwise. Lovely. So we're just going to keep going with this rhythm and focusing, getting almost into a kind of meditative rhythm with it, really. Taking the time to notice our focus and notice how the movement feels. Lovely. So making sure throughout that your arm and leg are getting as high and as long as they were at the start of the movement, and you're still focusing on that stillness through the torso. And just one more side. Reach and tuck and reach and return to the starting position, and you can come back now into a child's pose. Lovely. So it's not necessarily really strenuous, that one, but it's the focus and the attention to the detail of what muscles we're using. So a really great exercise for us to wake up those core stabilisers throughout the length of the torso. So roll the body up and then roll the shoulders back and down. We're going to get on to working the core from the side. So it's a route that so many neglect, but which makes such a difference for us as riders. So come to your side lying. Have your feet, as always, off the front corner of the mat. Make sure you've got some tone in the waist. And from here, the top leg lifts, heel pushes away. We're going to kick to the front and then lift and return. So we kick to the front and then lift and return. So just keep going with that rhythm. And here you want the heel pushing long, exhale to kick forward, inhale to return, exhale to kick forward, inhale to return. So feeling the lower abs kick in throughout this movement. They act to bring the leg forward, and then they act to stabilise you as you give a little kick out to the front. There's actually quite a lot going on with a very simple little looking movement. And keep the hips stable, make sure the hips stay stacked, make sure the upper body's staying still. Use that stabilising hand if you need it, but try and do as much as you can with the abs. So last one, little kick, and return. Lovely. So now take the legs back towards being in line with the body, but still slightly forward. Hands stable in front of you. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, we're going to lift both legs and lower. Lift both legs and lower. And again, we're going to lift both and lower. And so this time we're going to stay up to add on. So exhale to lift and swim, 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 little tiny swim kicks and lower. Go again. We're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale to lift and swim and lower. Lovely, well done. You can sit up onto the side of your hip now and come over into a lovely side stretch. Take a big deep breath into the ribs on that side and let the muscles lengthen down that side of the body. Super. And release. And let's set up side lying on the other side. So come over, line yourself up along the back of the mat, feet off to the front corner. And you want to make sure that your hips are stacked so the top one is on top of the bottom one. And from here, the top leg's going to lift, heel pushes away. We're going to kick to the front and lift and return. Kick to the front and lift and return. So just keep going, exhaling to come forward and inhaling to return. Exhale to feel the abs kick in. Inhale to return. Feel the abs bring the leg forward. Feel them stabilise you in the little kick. And just keep going with that movement, keeping the leg around hip height and focusing on the leg pushing long as well as carrying out the kick. So really trying to push the heel away and making that leg lengthen out from the hip socket. So the whole length of the leg is trying to lengthen across the room. So just a few more to go. Lovely. And reach with the heel. And one more. And kick. and return. Fab. The legs come back towards in line with the body, but still slightly forward. We're going to inhale to prepare and lift and lower. Lift and lower. And one more and lower. And now we're going to lift and do the swimming. So exhale to lift both legs and swim, swim, swim. And lower. And again, we're going to exhale to lift both legs and swim, swim, swim. And lower. Fabulous. And come back up to sit on the one hip and reach over into that lovely side stretch. Feel a stretch through all the way through the side of the ribs, but also down possibly into that hip as well. Great job. So now you can release and come to lie on your back. So get yourself aligned. Make sure you feel nicely squared off. So the hips are square, the shoulders are square and down away from the ears. We're going to cross one ankle over at the ankles and then take the hands behind the head, elbows wide. Check you're aligned again here. Check your hips feel straight and square. And then we're going to inhale to prepare and exhale to curl and inhale to return. Exhale to curl and inhale to return. So we're going to keep going with that cycle of the breath. So take your time here. A full exhale to curl up. And a full inhale to return, and using the abs throughout. And you'll notice here that having the legs long but having them crossed, see how that focuses the attention into the way that the abs are working. And moving with the breath. Lovely. Make sure we're not pulling on the head, but it is okay for the weight of the head to come into the hands. This time we're going to stay up to pulse. So inhale at the bottom, exhale to lift and pulse. So tiny little half curls right here at the top. Keep going, and inhale back down. Lovely. So swap the legs, cross the other ankle over. Inhale slow and full, exhale the abs on, and lift. And lower. So just working back into the singles, focusing on the pattern of the breath. Exhaling to curl up, inhaling to return. So focusing here on the feeling of using those abs down the front of the body to create the curl. We don't want to be pulling into the head, but we do want the head to be resting some weight into the hands. So now we're going to pulse. Exhale to curl up and tiny little half lifts. Reach, 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 get those ribs closer to the hips. And release back down. Brilliant, well done. Roll out through the neck, uncross the legs, and get yourself feeling straight and aligned again. So bring one knee in, hug it close for a second, and then extend the leg, heel pushes to the ceiling, holding lightly behind the thigh. So creating length down the back of the leg, and then on the exhale, the head, neck and shoulders are going to come up. The hands will reach forward, and we're going to pulse towards the leg. So we're shortening the distance between the rib and the hips, reaching forward through the leg, and release the head back down, knee hugs in and comes back down. Other knee comes in, squeeze it in, and then take the heel and push the heel up towards the ceiling, really lengthening through the back of the leg. Now if the last one was too tough, you can keep your hands lightly around your thigh like this. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to lift, and then either keep the hands there or reach the arms long, and pulse up towards the leg, bringing the forehead closer to the knee, shortening between the rib and the hip, and release back down. Brilliant, well done. Nearly there, head and shoulders down, leg down. Bring the knees now to crook and check your alignment. Do the hips feel square? Are they evenly in contact? Do your shoulders feel square and equal? Bring the knees up to tabletop, check you're aligned and stable, and that your lower abs are ready to scoop and hold on hard because the arms and legs are going to be reaching out. Hands reach to the ceiling, inhale into the back of the ribs, exhale, abs on strong, and reach one diagonal pair away and return. Go with the other side, reach the diagonal pair away and return. So keep going with the breath. Now here, you only want to take the arm and leg as low as you can keep the torso completely solid using the abs. So completely solid. It's all about doing this correctly. There is no point doing this exercise if you're getting unstable through the torso, so keep that movement modest. But the beauty of it is that however modestly you need to do it, that is what is most effective for strengthening your core at this point. So trust your judgment on it and keep it simple. Less is more, definitely. So one more pair, reaching to your range of motion and return, and one more, reach to your range of motion and return. Brilliant, well done. Release the feet, and then the arms back down. Fab. So inhale here. So now we're going to get into the muscles down the side of the torso. So inhale to prepare, exhale to reach towards the shin, scoop the abs and curl up, and tap the shin, one each side, shortening through the side of the body, feeling that work through the front and sides of the torso. Lovely. And from the centre you can rest back down. Take a little breather before doing another set. Just let those muscles have a rest for a second. And then we're going to inhale into the ribs, hands reach towards the shins, exhale to scoop up, and tap one side at a time, shortening through the side of the body, shortening through the waist, feeling the ribs move closer to the hips. It's very much about shortening rather than further lifting. And come back to centre and rest the head, neck and shoulders back down. Lovely. So you can stretch now, long arms overhead, long legs reaching away, and really feel that stretch through the front of the body and through the sides of the body. Let the abdomen do whatever it wants, let the ribs flare, all of the things that we aim not to do in Pilates, you can now do in the stretch. Really feel that lengthening through the front of the body. And big deep breaths, and just enjoy the feeling of the stretch through the shoulders too. And from there, you can circle the arms back round, and then when you're ready, you can roll yourself up to seated. Brilliant, well done. So really quite a tough session there today, actually, for the deep core stabilising muscles. So well done, and I'll see you next time.